Hello everybody, Shelly here, and if you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I like to find out if products can be used for us. Does it only work for the TikTok set? Does it only work for Instagram models? Does it actually work in our daily lives? So I like to look at palettes specifically that I can use for multiple different instances, work or Zoom calls versus something fun for the weekend, hanging out with the family, or date night. I am married and my husband likes it when I get all dolled up a little bit. So there's those types of questions we like to ask on this channel. We also like to do dupes. Today we're doing a dupe video. I've done a number of these. This one really piqued my attention for a couple different reasons, and I'll tell you why in a second. Enjoying these new Juvia's Place eyelid primers. This is, it says Prep Prime Eye Primer. The shade I have is shade 2. So it's creased a little bit because I put it on and it's been on for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes now. So something to keep in mind, if you go a little ham with it, you might have to smooth it out again before you put some stuff on. Oh, I do have the Hourglass eyebrow pencil on. We're not too fussy about our eyebrows at this channel. As long as they don't draw attention to themselves, then we're okay. Dupes. Some people are full on, I want to save money, but I like the idea of the high-end authentic. I just can't see spending that kind of money on it. Mad love for you guys. Be fiscally responsible. Then there's other people that are like, no, I am an artist, I'm a creator. I think you should only go with the authentic. You should not deviate from that. Somebody put a lot of effort and time into creating their product, and we should support them. Also agree with that. Also 100% agree with that. So it kind of puts you in the middle of the road. So you decide what you can afford. You decide what interests you the most. You decide where you're going to spend your dollars. My two favorite dupe brands are Alter Ego and CColor Cosmetics. I find that the formulas are very consistent. They're maybe a little powdery, but they blend out. Sometimes they even perform a little bit better than the originals. I have found a couple shades that don't really quite match with what the original or the authentic is supposed to be. Nobody's perfect, and maybe they're considering themselves, you know, designer inspired and not necessarily a true dupe, like we're trying to come up with the exact same one. Maybe they looked at it and thought, hey, we could do that better. I like our version better, and that's okay too. So not judging, and please don't judge me either. I'm here providing content for you. So before I realized this was even a dupe, I went out and bought just about all the CColor Cosmetics palettes I could find. This is one of them I picked up. This is the Dope2 palette. You've got, you know, half that are neutrals. You've got half that are ridiculously colorful. You've got a couple shadows or a couple shimmers right in the center. And this is a perfectly fine palette. And the pans are relatively decent sized. It is made in PRC. It's cruelty free. So yay! Yay for China brands that are actually cruelty free. Okay, so it took me a while to realize this is a dupe for Manny MUA's original Life's a Drag palette. Looks just like this. Manny MUA, who I had never purchased anything before. Sorry, Manny, Lunar Beauty. I had never purchased any of his brands before. And then he came out with a Life's a Drag facelift. And he basically added in, I think he said 8 new shades. 8 new shades compared to the original. I thought, you know what, that actually might work for a dupe video. So we have the original shades in the dupe. We have the original shades in the original Take 2 version of it, as well as some additional shades. So I'm going to try to stick to the original shades. Like the orange isn't in there. One of the purples isn't in there. You know, we've got some deviation. This shade isn't in there. The pink's not in there. The silver in the middle's not in there. So let's do a video where we compare the dupe to the original Take 2 version of it, which has a lot of the same shades as the original. And let's just see. Let's put them side by side, see how they do. Are you guys okay with that? If you're interested in this kind of content, interested in supporting me on my journey, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna use the same brush on, not like for all the colors, but I'll use the same brush with one color and the same brush in the other color, and I'll color switch in between. If, for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like it's getting clean, I have lots of dupe brushes too, like multiples of the same kind. So I'll just try to keep making sure that I use the same consistency, the same quality, the same technique. Let's do, I really want to do something that's a little crazier because I want to try a bunch of different shades. Are you guys okay if we do something a little out there? I'm gonna do all of the CColor Cosmetics side on this side of my face, which is my least favorite side, and then I'm gonna do the Lunar Beauty Manue Life's a Drag facelift palette on my relatively better side. What do you guys think of these earrings? These are, I got these off Shein. They're kind of like boho, but I also have my grandfather's ears, so I don't know that they're particularly flattering. So you guys have to leave me a comment down below. So shall I throw those away? Or yeah, they're okay. Nobody notices your Dumbo ears. All right, I'm gonna zoom you in. Give me a second. Okay, are we zoomed in, focused well enough? Okay, let me get my mirror situated here. Let's try this. Let's try, okay, so this is the CColor one. The CColor one has actually larger pan sizes than the Lunar Beauty one. Doesn't bother me one way or the other. If you're drawn to these kind of really bold, fun colors, this might actually be a great travel palette. There's several different shades in here that I'm really drawn towards. Like, I love this hot pink. I want to do this hot pink with the brown, but I also want to do something with the yellow because I just feel like yellow right now could be a lot of fun. So I'm going to start with this tan shade right here. That's going to go up on my, we are recording, yay. I realized recently I'd recorded something, actually a whole video of putties and creams and liquids, because somebody was saying that they just got into cream products, and I was like, how did you just get into cream products? Like, I've been using them forever. So I went through and gathered up all kinds of cream products, sat down, filmed like an hour-long video, and then realized the first probably 10 minutes of it didn't record. The first probably 10 minutes of it didn't record. I just screwed up already. Okay, so I filmed an entire video of creams and liquids and putties, and the first 10 minutes of it didn't actually record. Yay. Okay. I cleaned off my brush. I'm gonna go into the Lunar Beauty one. We're gonna pick up that one right here. It's kind of like middle row on the first column. The CColor Cosmetics side doesn't have labels. It doesn't give you shade names. And I may have to bounce back and forth, but I will clean with the color switch in between. Actually, very similar. I'm gonna go back into the CColor Cosmetics side and kind of build up that transition just a little bit more. I'm going higher than at where I want my crease. But if you guys have the same type of eye shape, which means close set, switching again, close set, hooded, mature eyes, one of the things I like to try to do is make my eyes appear more open and awake, which means I have to start this shading process to move my crease visually up a little higher. Those went on very, very similarly. Go back over to the CColor side. I'm gonna go into this kind of darker sort of, it's almost like a gray brown. Kind of like a chocolatey brown. It's a cool tone brown. The one right next to it has a little bit of a purple undertone, I think, which would be very pretty. I feel like this is going to be very pigmented. Okay, it's going on. I barely tipped into it. It seemed like it picked up a lot. I tapped it off, and now I'm just doing very, very light circles to deposit the product. And it's blending out very well. You guys, the CColor formula, I just really like. I don't think I've ran across a palette from them that had just junk formula. Right now you're like looking at going, yay, you did a neutral eye look, but I'll make it prettier here in a second. Okay, cleaning off my brush, going into the Manny Lunar Beauty one. We're gonna grab this small one over here called Hug. And it also seems very, very pigmented when you pick it up. Okay, that went on much darker than the CColor Cosmetics one, so let's buff it out a little bit. Blending. It's like those things where they say, and we're walking like the tour guides and the museums and stuff. That went on much darker, way, way, way more pigmented. That's a gorgeous, pretty brown. All right, we're gonna switch back over. So far, the Lunar Beauty has come on much more saturated than the CColor Cosmetics side. Now, my experience with CColor Cosmetics is it does build up. So far, the tones are pretty good. I feel like the CColor one, no, they look very similar. So the CColor one goes on a little bit more sheer, but does appear to be building up, and it doesn't appear to be patchy at all. Looking pretty even. I'm gonna clean my brush off a little bit here. and kind of buff out that edge. Good solid base. Okay, I'm gonna grab this flat brush, and we're going in with this yellow. Now, I normally don't wear yellow eyeshadow because, frankly, I worry about it making me looking jaundiced. So I've loaded up kind of a brush here on one side, top off the excess. And we're gonna put that on the inside here. My husband just walked in. He purchased a bass guitar when he was out running his errands. Oh, that is so pretty. So if you hear background picking, that is my husband with his new bass that's not plugged in. There's that yellow. We're gonna color switch, go back over to the other side, and we'll grab the yellow in the Lunar Beauty palette called Campy. Just loading up one side, tapping off the extra. I do feel like both palettes have a little bit of kick up. About the same, actually. I'm not finding that one is even more than the other. Okay, I did have to go in multiple times and pick up product for both of these shades. And I'm noticing that the Manny is a little more true yellow, where I feel like the CColor Cosmetics is a little bit more orange yellow. Can you guys see that? Like that seems slightly more orange yellow, or maybe more mustard yellow, whereas this one seems more like a true yellow. First differentiation between the two palettes. I'm gonna grab this bright blue right here, and that is on my CColor Cosmetics side. And we're gonna put this right in between the brown and that yellow. I am going over the top of the brown. I wanted that brown to kind of give it a little bit more richness underneath. Seems to be going on a little patchy, but it does build up. And I didn't get too much green where those two shades met. I do have a ridiculous amount of fallout though. Let's dust off that brush and go into the same shade on the Manny MUA palette, which is the one in the corner. Last row, last column. And put it right over the top of that line for the yellow. And then we'll buff it all over the brown, all the way up against the lash line, all the way out to the edge. I'm gonna grab my yellow brush that's been cleaned off and just kind of smooth out the seam between those two colors and just blend it in a little bit more. The CColor Cosmetics side gave me quite a bit more fallout. The Manny MUA side, not so much at all. I'm gonna grab that neutral that we used on the top edge again on the Lunar Beauty side. We'll hop over to the CColor Cosmetics side and grab the neutral over here against that top edge. I don't know how I feel about these bold colors, but I feel like I am, you know, using a number of the shades, which was kind of the goal. Okay, we need to try, I feel like we need to try one of these purples. Can we do this purple down below? I don't know that we would leave the house like this, but we're just playing, right? Maybe we would leave the house like this, something kind of fun and different, and if we're going for attention, maybe. Okay, so on the CColor Cosmetics side, I'm grabbing this purple. This is so funny to me because my first inclination with this palette was to do hot pink and browns. Like that would be my go-to. Grabbing the purple in this palette. They're not laid out exactly the same, just in case you're wondering. But now I'm using like every other color. I feel like everything is coming along pretty darn well. The only shade so far I feel like is not the same was that yellow. I'm going back into the purple on the CColor Cosmetics side, because I want to bring it up here a little bit more. Get them to match slightly more. Okay, we need one more color. I'm just cleaning off that same brush. Do we want this color or do we want the hot pink? I think we want this one. We're grabbing this kind of like sea foamy kind of color. I'll tell you what Manny calls it here in just a second. You guys, I don't do rainbow eye looks like this. I don't do this for my channel. I don't do it to leave the home. But for whatever reason right now, I'm feeling all like, hey! Okay, we're gonna grab in the same kind of seafoam green on here, which is called Kinky. He didn't need to do that. I'm going to call it Seafoam instead. I have a lot of the shades on. It's very fun. Let me put some mascara on and kind of clean this up a little bit. I'll be right back. Okay. Mascara's on today. I just used a Fenty Beauty mascara. This is actually a solid mascara. I kind of forgot about it because I use so many other different ones and I feel bad because I paid for it and it wasn't free and I actually really do like it. So if you're ever looking for it and you happen to see the Fenty mascara, it's Shelly approved. We don't care about that. Okay, I'm gonna grab this kind of champagne color highlight on the CColor cosmetic side. I'm gonna put a little of that right here. Bring a little lightness to the situation. I think that's actually really pretty. Okay, it's gonna be this champagne one right here in the middle, and it is called Beat. And put it right here. Probably a little bit too much. Perfectly fine. Okay, you guys. So, final thoughts. We've got our CColor cosmetic side for the Dope2 palette. Can you guys see that? Dope2 palette on the side. And then we have our Manny makeup artist, Lunar Beauty, our Life's a Drag. I didn't use the new shades. I used the original shades. I don't know how they are formula-wise compared to the two. My dog is breathing so loud. I'm so sorry. I don't know if he changed the formula or if it's exactly the same formula. I know he said he gave it a facelift, and that facelift came with some new shades and some new package art. I don't know how I feel about the scruffy face with the facial makeup, but that's just me. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Tell me what you guys think. Did pass inspection for you guys as far as the dupe goes. This feels slightly more orange right here than this one, but all of the other shades I felt were very, very well done. This is much better success story for me than some of the other dupe videos I've done. I hope that helps you guys. Feel free to leave me a comment down below. Follow me over on Instagram at Shelly Tsunami, and I hope everybody's doing well. And until my next video, bye for now. You bought a base.
Are you ready?
Yeah.